Okay, now what do we have here today? I was looking for a bicycle mini pump that I could actually fit on the Jansno. The problem is there's not much real estate on there. So what I did is I put a little tool bag on the upper side of the frame, so I could actually put tools in there. But it still is too small to actually fit like a normal pump that you can pump with, to try to pump up the tires in case you're stuck at the side of the road or you just want to top up your bicycle tires. So what I did is I found this on Aliexpress, which is just literally bicycle tire inflator unidentified, because there's no model number, there's nothing. But originally I saw this actually on Amazon, and it was for about $120 Canadian. I got this for 50 bucks, including paying $2 more for a case, which I recommend having around it, a silicone case, because this thing heats up like crazy. So $2 for a silicone case is kind of worth it. So let's take open the box. This is a surprisingly well-made box. Like, this is like a solid presentation here. I'm used to, on AliExpress, the packaging, basically paper mache and regret. So this is actually pretty professional. It gives you a card here, which is nice that they give you these instructions here, but it should be faced up. What it's telling you is if you're using the attachments, make sure you take off, you see this, I'll show you when I open it up. There's a little, let's take a look if we can get it. You see right there, that's the press fit valve. That's where if you just want to stick the unit on there and just hit the button and pump up your tire, instead of having to use the extension. So we're going to open it up and we're going to take a look here. So they gave you a card because the instructions are kind of shit. They're in several languages, so you can be shit in English, Spanish, French, Italian, and German, but they're kind of shitty. But it has the basics in here. But I'm going to explain it to make it easier for you so you don't have to go through all this junk, because I've already tested it. Okay, so let's take it out of the box. See, it's in a very nice case. Here, look, this foam rubber's like good. So let's take it out. What do you get? Okay, you get the unit itself. See, this is the silicone case that it goes around. So this is like a rubberized, thing that'll insulate you from the heat that this generates. It also comes with a bunch of accessories. Let's take a look here. Let's put all this stuff aside because you don't need to look at the box anymore. Okay, so what do you get? You obviously get a Schrader valve extension. Now, to put all these extensions and accessories and all this stuff off, you have to take this press fit valve on. Don't do this, because it will screw in there, but in there is just rubber. So basically you're screwing metal into rubber, so how long is that going to take before this is cored out and it's like totally useless? So you take off the press fit valve, which is basically, you just put this, let's pretend this is the Schrader, you just put it on there and you hit the button. You hold it there, which is kind of annoying a bit. It's good for pumping up the tire a little bit. But it's vibrating and making a shitload of noise. It's probably better just to put this on here and just have it sit there and do its job, and you don't have to hold it. But anyway, it's on there, so we'll take this off, and you just screw on, say, this, which is sort of the extension. So you screw it on, right? It doesn't really have a swivel valve portion, so just try to get it to the point where you can use it and then put it on the bike and fire away. That's open, and then you put it on the valve and that locks it down. This is probably a way better seal than just press fitting it, because press fitting, you're just using the tension of you holding it on there. It works fine, but I'm just saying it's more annoying for you to be pushing on it instead of just having it sit there going, oh yeah, it's working. Okay, so let's take this off. So these are the two Schraders. Now for Presta, what you need to do, well, here, we'll go through the extra accessory. Yeah, you get a USB A to C. However, this has a proper C charging profile. This will charge from USB-C to USB-C, and I'll show you in a second. Okay, you get this little brass valve, which I don't even know. I'm assuming what this is if you stick it on here, and you have like an inflatable toy, you know, one of those ones where the valve pops out and you kind of blow on it. What I could see is you putting this on that little valve and pumping up the toy, you know, and then, you know, closing it up. It also comes, if I can find it here, what did I do with it? Hold on a second. All right, well, I can't find it. I don't know, it fell around somewhere, but basically it was a little ball needle attachment if you want to blow up a, I don't know, a soccer ball or something. I'll never use it. So the only reason I had it was basically to show you how to change the press fit valve from Schrader to, here, let's put on a little light here. There we go. Put the press fit valve from Schrader, which it's set from the factory, as you can see. Let's see if we can get up there. See, it's set to Schrader to Presta. So what you do is you just unscrew the top of it, and there's a little rubber piece with the valve in there. So what you do is you just poke it out. So see how I poked it out? And you just reverse it. See the Presta valve there? And you just put it in so that the Presta valve is up. And then you screw it back on. And now there's a Presta valve in there. So now this is just a Presta press fit. It's not the extension. This is a Schrader extension. So you can't use it. So we're going to do this. We're going to screw it on. And now we have a Presta valve. So when you stick it on a Presta valve and hit the button, it's going to work. All right, so let's go back and poke it back out again. So take off the top, separate the two halves, poke out the rubber gasket, and then just reverse it, and now you're back to Schrader. So it's really simple. Obviously, most e-bike tires are going to be Schrader anyway, so unless you have like a racing mountain bike or something, you're probably just going to stick it on on Schrader. So we pop it on Schrader. Let me just show you the modes, the function of it. So you hit the button and you hold down, and now it comes on. So it gives you a battery indicator. Now it's at 0, because obviously. Now if you look here, it's very, I don't know if you can see on the camera, but right now it's on bicycle. So if you hit the minus, it goes to motorcycle, which is preset at 35. That's the ball. That's for 8 pounds. And then back up to the bicycle, which is set at 45. Now you can change it by just tapping the plus button. Now you can see how it's flashing, and you can, you know, go up and down. You can, let's see what the top is. I think it's around 120 or so. Wow. Okay, it can go pretty high. I don't know if it can actually do 120. 125, 130. Holy moly, 40, 50, and then back to 0. So once you get it to where you want it set, because it'll automatically shut off, you just hit the button. It's loud. And then you can hit the button again to cut it short, or you can just let it sit there and it'll just pump up the pressure to, you know, wherever you have it set at. Okay, so let's move on to the test. Well, here, let me show you one thing. See, I have a USB-C cable, so we're going to plug it into the power bank here to prove to you that this actually has a proper USB-C profile. See, look, and now it's charging. So it has proper USB-C, not just dumb USB-A to C, which it'll do. Like, watch here, I can plug in just a standard USB-A to C into it. So you can, you know, charge this off your e-bike battery, because that's why I got this, is because even the battery on it is 500 milliamps. But if you look at the Psi Plus, which is sort of the gold standard of these little micro pumps, the AS Pro, which is $120 American or 150 Canadian, 3 times the price of this, has a 420 milliamp battery. This has a 500 for a third of the price, and it only came in about 8 days or so. So it was pretty decent. Now, what it is it's actually, it charges. I did a charge test on it. It charges up to about 1,000 because it's 2 500s in series. So it's like, say this is positive, this is positive, this is negative. There's 2 in series linked up to give you 7.4 volts. So it gives you the power to actually run the compressor on this, because once the pressure gets high, this little guy really has to work. So that gives you some extra power for that. Anyway, on to the test. And lo and behold, I found the damn needle hidden under the... But anyway, this is the needle valve that it comes with for blowing up, you know, soccer balls and shit. I'll never use this. The only thing that I use it for is basically to poke out the gasket to move from Schrader to, you know, to Presta. But I don't even have a Presta bike, so like I said, I'll never use this ever. You know, I don't know, maybe if a kid comes over and says, hey, I need to get my ball pumped up. Okay, well, whatever. Anyway, there you go. Okay, we're gonna do a test. I'm gonna deflate by 20 by 4 to around 5 psi because I don't feel like reseating the bead. But to give you an example of this little pump, what it needs to pump up, I don't have another bike tire, but I do have a 27.5 inch by 2 inch tube. So if you look at the thickness of this and the thickness of this, it's like it needs to pump up a tire about 3 or 4 times, I'd say. So anyway, let's give it a try. And I'll put the camera such that you can read the screen. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the press valve right now, just to see where the air pressure is. And it's at 5. Oh, 5.5. Here, we'll give it a little. There. Give it a little more. Oh, now it's at 4. Okay, fair enough. So how you can use this is, here, I'll turn it off. You just hold the button down to turn on and off. So you hold the button down. Now there's presets here. Oh shit, it didn't stay off long enough to... Basically, there's 45, 35, and 8. So let's turn it on. Yeah, see, 45 for motorcycle, then it goes to a bicycle icon, which is 35, and then 8, which is a little ball. But it doesn't really matter. Like, if I'm pumping this up to 30, I could be on 45, hit this, and just pump it up and then stop when the pressure gets to where you want it to be. But if you want to program it, you hit the plus, and then you can just turn it down. I usually put it on bicycle because there's less to turn down because it starts at 35, but okay, let's put it to 30. Okay, so it's set at 30. So what we're going to do is, instead of using the press valve, so you can actually see the screen better, is I'm going to take the press valve off. This is just, you hold it on and you hold it on there, but it's annoying and it heats up and it vibrates and stuff. I highly recommend getting this case for an extra $2 because this thing heats up. What we're going to do is I'm just going to use the extender. So you take the press, you unscrew the press valve off. Don't screw this into the press valve because you're screwing it right into a rubber gasket. It's going to kill it. So we'll just put it in here. And we'll wait till it shuts off, which is at 2.5 minutes. And then it'll auto shut off because it needs to cool down. So let's do this. See, just lock it down like a normal bicycle tire. I'll move the camera over so you can see it a bit better. I don't know if you can see the screen there. I'll hold it a bit. Now it auto shut off. After a minute and a half of not doing anything, it'll shut off, which is nice. So if you forget to shut it off. So 35, hit the plus button. Now you can change it. So we'll go to 30 and see if it can do that in 2.5 minutes before the shut off. All right, that's at 4.5. Let's see how high it goes. See, I don't know, it's kind of hard to see on the camera, but I'll just leave it. 7. I'll call it out in case it can't show up in the camera. 7.5. 8. 8.5. 9. As the pressure gets up, it gets harder for it to pump. 9.5. 10. 10.5. 11. 11.5. 12. 12.5. 13. Here, I'll move the camera down. 13.5. 14. One of the bars, battery bars, just went down. 15. 15.5. 16. We're already at rideable pressure in case you're at the side of the road. 16.5. 17. 17. It's getting slower as it needs more pressure. This is a lot of volume. This whole tire, this is like 3 or 4 bike tires, normal bike tires worth of air. 18. It's going to go right to the cutoff. 19. Now I won't use the whole battery when it cuts off, but it needs to cool down because this is just a little tiny dinky thing. But it's more than enough to like ride on. So if you had to change your tube, or say you were had slime in the tube like I do, you know, it takes a while for the slime to close the seal. So you might get down to 10 psi. Can you pump it back up to proper pressure? 21.5. 22.5. 23. 2 bars on the battery. 23. 33.5. This is still way faster than having a little teeny tiny mini pump and trying to do it by hand. 24. 24.5. 25. have the full pressure from 4.5 pounds per square inch. Obviously, the first little bit will be easy when there's no pressure. It doesn't have to fight the pressure in the tube. 27. There, cut off, auto shut off because of the heat. So 27.5, that's almost full pressure. So, as an emergency, like, look, it's really hot. Well, it's not super hot, obviously, I can hold on to it. So we'll take this off. Do not touch this. That's metal. That'll be burn levels of heat. So anyway, you still have one battery flashing. Now, we have to wait 10 minutes before we can use it again. So in the meantime, while you're waiting 10 minutes, well, why not just charge it off the e-bike? So it pumps up a little bit of power in case you need to, need more. Obviously, one of these with the charge, I'm not gonna charge it. I'm gonna let it sit for 8 minutes so I can turn it on again. And then I'm going to see how much juice is left and can we get it to full pressure. And if so, then I'll deflate it a little bit more and then try to pump it up until it goes to low cutoff. All right, I'll wait 8 minutes. Okay, we're back after 8 minutes. It's still pretty warm, but it's like, look, I can actually touch that now. So it has cooled down considerably. This was inside too. Like if you're outside, you might have wind going and it's going to cool faster. But so we did the 8 minutes that they told us we should. Let's turn it on. Here we go. Now the battery's still flashing, but here, let's see if it can pump up whatever's left to make it 30. I think it was here, it'll tell us what the pressure is. Oh, the pressure is 30. Okay, well, maybe when it was pumping up, it might have been losing some air and it can't determine. So it pumped it up. If you look at it, look, 30. There's 30. So now it has one battery bar left. So I'm going to deflate it a little bit and we'll see if we can, how long does it go until it needs to be recharged. And what does it say? Now, it usually just says LO and then just cuts off automatically. So let's see what we can do here. It's hard to do with operate the camera and here, I'll just use my knife again. So let's just deplete it a little bit. Okay, that should be enough. Okay, let's turn it on. You don't even have to set it really if you don't want to. You can just turn it on and watch it, and then when it gets to 30, just hit the off button. But anyway, okay, so it's at 19 right now. So it's at 19 PSI. Okay, so let's hit with only one bar left. Okay, up to 20. 20.5. 21. 22. We're already rideable. 22.5. 23. Flashing the battery. 24 and a half. 25. So we're up 6 psi with whatever was left on the battery, which was only 1. 25.5. Low. So that's when it stops. See, it says low. The battery's flashing. So we got up to 25.5. So we went from 4.5 up to 30, and then 19 to 25.5. So you get over a tire out of it, basically. So here, let's do this. I'll pump it up later. I'm gonna let this cool down. So, you know, for an emergency, like, hi, I'm tits up at the side of the road, because look, I got an e-bike. How many times can I charge this? Like 50 times before, you know? So it obviously will work in an emergency, though. This is not a replacement for, say, you know, a normal bike pump. This is, hi, I'm tits up at the side of the road. I need to be able to fit this on my bike. Because if you look, here, I'll take the camera up. All I have is this little tool bag. So I can fit it in here. Sorry, I'm low on oxygen. All right, sorry, stood up too fast. But as you can see, I can put this in here. I would put it face up like this, because if you put it face down on metal tools, as it jiggles around, it's gonna scratch the hell out of it. I can put it in here and always have like a bike pump. All right, anyway, there you go.